There's been a lot of talk about whether or not Trump is going to be targeting lawful permanent residents, and it looks like we finally have our answer about whether or not he will be targeting green card holders. In just the past few weeks, we have seen multiple cases of lawful permanent residents being detained, questioned, deported, and even violently interrogated by immigration officers. And it looks like Trump is about to try to pass laws that will give him even more power to deport even more people with legal status. So what does this mean for green card holders? And should you be worried? I'm going to cover each of these recent stories and explain the likelihood of you being targeted. And as a bonus, I will even share additional steps on what you can do to protect yourself, whether you're traveling here or outside the US. The first story comes from a viral TikTok video that has millions of views. A woman posted a warning about her 23-year-old niece, a nursing student and lawful permanent resident, who was denied entry back into the United States after attending her mother's funeral. Her niece had done everything by the books. She had had her green card for 6 months, she had done the process with an attorney, and she was only gone for 3 weeks. But when she landed at LAX, customs officials took her green card, cut off a corner, and put her in a holding room. There was no translator, no legal representation, and no appeal process. Then, without warning, she and several others were told that they would not be allowed back into the United States. ICE then collected $200 from each person and put them back on a plane. No explanation, no hearing, just deported. Someone in the same holding room was told that if you had a green card for less than 2 years and then left the US, you might not be allowed back into the United States. Now, this is not an official law, but if CBP officers are enforcing it like a rule, it means that international travel for green card holders could become a serious risk, even if every immigration guideline is closely followed. And it's not just happening at LAX. This next case happened at a different airport, and it sounds like it was even a worse experience. Fabian Schmidt, a German national and a longtime US green card holder, was returning home from a trip from Luxembourg. But when he landed at Logan Airport in Boston, customs officers flagged his recently renewed green card, and that's when things took a terrifying turn. According to news reports, he was detained, violently interrogated for hours, and stripped naked before being forced into a cold shower by 2 immigration officials. After that, they denied him food and water, keeping him under bright lights to prevent him from sleeping and pressuring him to give up his green card. And despite having no active criminal cases against him, Schmidt is now being held in an ICE detention facility in Rhode Island, where his family is desperately fighting to save him. Now, the next case should make it clear that Trump is detaining persons no matter whether or not they have traveled or not. Because Mahmoud Khalil was not detained at the border or stopped at an airport. He was arrested at his own home. Mahmoud Khalil is a Palestinian activist and Columbia graduate student who has been a permanent lawful resident for several years. He has no criminal record and was on track to start his new job in order to support his US citizen wife, who is now pregnant at 8 months. But none of this mattered. On March 8th, ICE agents showed up at his Manhattan apartment and arrested him in front of his wife after they were returning from an iftar gathering. At first, they claimed that his student visa had been revoked. But when it became clear that he was actually a green card holder and he didn't even have a student visa, then the story changed. Now, the Trump administration is trying to strip him of his green card and deport him without even charging him of any crime. And the reason why? They are claiming that he engaged in activities involved with Hamas, even though there is zero evidence that he has any ties to this organization. All he did was participate in pro-Palestinian protests at Columbia University. And that is likely the reason why they want him gone. One of Trump's own executive orders states that any immigrants who bear hostile attitudes towards American culture and institutions or have pro-jihadist views should be deported immediately. But bearing hostile attitudes towards American culture or institutions can literally mean anything that they want it to mean. And even though Khalil did not have pro-jihadist views, but was instead advocating for the basic human rights of Palestinian persons, they are still labeling him as a terrorist. So this is a sign that the Trump administration is going to weaponize immigration law to remove people it simply does not want in this country. And in Mahmoud's case, they are using it to arrest him for his political views, effectively turning him into a political prisoner, which is very unconstitutional, as well as having a chilling effect on free speech. So it increasingly looks like Trump is in fact going after green card holders, and we need to talk about why. The stories that we have covered aren't just isolated incidents. They're happening at the same time that Trump is preparing a new travel ban. This ban is set to go into effect soon, and it will block travel and immigration from dozens of countries. Some will be completely banned, while others will face severe restrictions. And two of the cases that we have discussed, both Mahmoud Khalil and the Laotian green card holder that was discussed in the TikTok video, both involve green card holders from Trump's proposed travel ban list. Note that green card holders were previously protected and exempt from the travel ban, so your country of origin should not be grounds to have your green card taken away. But anything is possible in this Trump administration. Also, this is not the first time that this has happened. In 2017, Trump signed the first ban targeting 13 countries, most of which were Muslim-majority nations. And during this time, customs regularly pressured green card holders from those countries to sign the Form I-407, which basically abandons your residency. However, there were never any reports of lawful permanent residents having their green cards be taken away. That's new. So if we start hearing more stories of similar things happening, then as a green card holder, you might want to think twice about traveling internationally, especially if you are from one of the banned countries. I'll put a full list of the countries that Trump is proposing to ban on the screen so you can check to see if your country is amongst them. As of the time of this recording, it has not yet been announced, but initial reports show that 43 of these countries could be banned to one degree or another. Now, what about the German green card holder? Unlike the two other cases, he's not from a banned country, so why was he detained? The most likely reason are his past legal issues. He had a dismissed misdemeanor marijuana charge and a DUI from years ago. He also missed a court hearing because a notice was not forwarded to his new address. Even though none of these are major crimes, immigration law allows the government to take away your green card if they can justify it legally. So it's important that you understand what can put your legal status at risk and how to avoid it. I have a separate video outlining the top 10 ways the government can take away your green card status, and I'll include a link to that video here. So what does it mean for you? Do you need to be worried about your legal status? Right now, we are not seeing a widespread targeting of green card holders. Most of these cases appear to involve specific factors, either being from a banned country, having a past legal criminal issue, or being the target of an executive order by the Trump administration. But this could change. As new laws take effect, it's possible that more green card holders will be affected. That's why it is so important to understand your rights and take legal steps to protect your legal status both inside the US and outside the US when traveling. So now that we know that the Trump administration is targeting green card holders, what can you do to protect yourself? Let's start with international travel. If you're a green card holder, traveling abroad is unfortunately now riskier than ever. Even though you may be a lawful permanent resident, that does not mean that your rights are absolute. And customs officials have a lot of power to question you and detain you upon your return. That is why you should always carry proof of strong ties to the US, including pay stubs, tax returns, lease agreements, mortgage statements, and bank account records. And if you don't have these, you're more likely to get flagged for abandoning your green card status, especially if you have traveled outside for more than 6 months. Limit long trips abroad. If you're gone for more than 6 months, you will get extra scrutiny. If you're gone for more than 12 months, you may be denied reentry altogether unless you have a reentry permit. And if you've had your green card for less than 2 years, consider postponing your travel plans until we know for sure whether or not customs might target you. Avoid countries on the proposed travel ban list. If you are from one of those banned countries, or if you've traveled there recently, you could get stopped at the airport. Immigration officials have already been detaining and deporting green card holders from these countries, so be extra cautious. Now might not be the time to travel internationally. Do not sign the Form I-407. If an immigration officer tries to pressure you into signing anything, do not sign anything without the presence of an attorney. They cannot force you to sign it. And for now, only an immigration judge can legally take away your green card if there is an issue. So insist on seeing a judge and do not let these immigration agents bully you into submission. And get legal advice before you travel, especially if you have any issues. If you have any criminal history, I 100% recommend that you do not travel, even if these things were dismissed. We just do not know what will happen. Even minor offenses from many years ago could trigger an issue. However, if you are staying inside the United States, Trump's immigration crackdown could still affect you. So here are some ways to protect yourself here at home. First, keep your green card and other immigration documents up to date. If your green card is expiring soon, make sure to renew it ASAP. Also, make sure your passport and work permits are valid. This way, you have documentation in case you are questioned. Next, report any address changes to USCIS. If you move, you must update your address with the USCIS within 10 days. Plus, missing any important letters could put your status at risk. Avoid any contact with the criminal justice system. Even low-level offenses like DUIs or minor drug charges could still be weaponized by the Trump administration and cause you to be placed into proceedings. If you get arrested for any reason, talk to an immigration lawyer immediately. Be careful about public statements and the use of your social media. The Trump administration is monitoring immigrants' social media accounts, looking for anything that they can use to justify taking away your residency. If you've ever supported protests or made any public statements about Palestine, immigration, or other controversial topics, be aware that these could be used against you. Know your rights if ICE stops you. You do not have to answer their questions about your immigration status. You have the right to stay silent and ask to speak to your attorney. Do not sign anything without the presence of an attorney and without the proper legal advice. And finally, if you're worried about your status, now is the time to act. Becoming a citizen is the best way to protect your rights in a permanent manner, but you must make sure that you're eligible, otherwise that could create a problem as well. If you're not eligible yet, stay informed and take steps to protect yourself, because as we have seen, even green card holders may be targeted. My name is Moumita Rahman, and I have been practicing immigration law for the past 15 years. We have helped thousands of immigrants get their legal status fixed across the entire country, and even during the last Trump administration. And we would love to do the same for you. If you would like my help on your case, give our office a call to schedule a case evaluation at 212-248-7907. We are based in New York, and we serve clients in all 50 states. And if you want to learn more about what the Trump administration has planned with their new travel ban, be sure to watch my other video that explains how it works. This time around, he's not just preventing people from immigrating into the US, he's actively targeting persons who are already here. I'll include a link to that video next. Click here, and I'll see you soon.